He hails from Summersville, South Carolina. Decided to get in. He was like a SVP in our previous company. Him and his lovely wife got started over here with ACN. Rolled the sleeves up. And whenever I go out to South Carolina, we work from sun up to sundown. That's stuff I love working because I love prospecting. And every time I go out there, I always, where I go, I always like to go out prospecting to show and lead by example. It's easy to get names and numbers, put them in a funnel, and convert them to get to the meeting. Either you can do it face to face or you can get them on the Tuesday night PBR. It doesn't make a difference. Matter of fact, I think I've got 3 guests this tomorrow night. So he's always out there hustling. He's always out there running up and down the highway, making things happen. A couple of his new IBOs has got some new IBOs in out there in South Carolina. They're just turning the curve right now into going out there and really doing some massive things. So without further ado, can we give a warm welcome to none other than the great regional director, Mr. Curtis Evans.
Hello, everybody. Let's get started. I'm glad. Thank you for the warm introduction, Mr. Thomas. We got a lot to talk about today. One of the things that we're going to be really, really good at in the future is going to be our ability to build a business. Now, it's a little different than building Mr. Thomas just talked about a minute ago about going out and getting names and numbers, okay? And now we live in a crazy age where people don't call you back. Now, why don't they call you back? Because there's this industry out there now called robocalls. And so you could actually just tune up your phone or pay some money and have your phone call people all day long. And so what happens is, when I was growing up, the phone rang once a day, maybe once a week, every 2 times a month. You know, the phone didn't ring very much. When it was ringing, your mother, for those that are my age on the phone, or maybe considerably younger, your mama would beat you the next week if you didn't go around and answer that phone, because it may be an emergency. Somebody could be hurt somewhere, somebody could be in trouble. They're trying to call home to find out what's going on or who can help or send me some money or something like that. And you're sitting around there watching TV and the phone just ringing, okay? You also could get hurt if you went around there and started using the phone, okay? Because if you dial 1 back in the day, it was $1.50 a minute or something. We lived in London for a long time. It costs a lot of money to call London. And so, you know, that was the phone, it was a landline phone. You were stuck there at the house. And if you call someone's home and they didn't answer the phone, it wasn't an emergency. Now, if you call somebody and don't answer in 3 seconds, 5 seconds, why aren't you answering my phone call? I called you, it would take you so long. But that was because we had these landline phones. We moved from, it kind of happened across the country where these phones were placed into people's homes. Folks like Mr. Thomas, I made a ton of money in the long distance business. Mr. Thomas, oh my goodness. He made tons and tons and tons of money in long distance business. And like farmers, the farmers kind of went out of business because this new technology came up called the tractor. And when that technology came up, they didn't need as many farmers no more. Now we still need farmers, but you know, the technology that came up to replace them was tractors. We were so happy to have a phone in our house. First, on your street, there would be maybe one phone, and we call it a party line. That's how old we are. Party line. And when everybody on the street had a phone in there, but when you answer the phone, you got to figure out who they call. They call it Mr. Randolph's house, they call it my house, or they call it Melissa Williams's house. And you know, you got to make sure nobody was listening in because they could keep the phone on. So you know, that was the technology. Then what happened is it scaled, and everybody in a few years had their own phone with their own number, And then after a while, there were multiple phones in the house. You had 3, 4 phones in the house in different rooms, okay? And that's how industry works. Is, you know, once the prices get down real low, you can get a lot of them. Same thing happened with TVs. TVs, there was one phone on the street. I mean, one television on the street, especially when color televisions came out. There was one TV on the street. Then all of a sudden, everybody had a TV in their house. And then everybody had a TV in their room. TVs got cheap, okay? And so that's just what happens. And in our business, remember cell phones. I just talk about cell phones. First, we had one cell phone in the house. So if the husband or wife or one of the kids were going off and there was an emergency, your car had a flat tire, it ran hot or something like that, you take the phone with you because you're going on a trip, okay? And then everybody got a phone in the house. It got cheap enough, and then it just kept growing and growing and growing. So as soon as you're born, they'll put a diaper on you, and then they'll give you a cell phone. Now everybody, the baby got a cell phone. Okay. So the world has just changed. And we're going through some more changes now. And that's why I say, even now, the phones are ringing all the time because of the robocalls. So if you get my number, two things can happen. I could call you and you won't answer the phone. If Rick Kubik piqued me and I gave him my number, he says, you know, are you willing to make some extra money? Or you, yes, whatever Rick told me, and I gave him my number, said, yeah, call me. If he called me, there's a good chance I won't answer the phone because there's so many people calling my phone number, right? And Rick could say, I thought that guy was interested. I called him, he won't even answer the phone. Or it could be the other way around, where you know, we got a flood of phone calls, and this computer will talk to you at first, and then if you say yes, I like this, I know I'm interested in that, they will send you to the right operator. So that's how that works today. So get their names and numbers, but you may have to call more than one time. You may have to text first before you call. This is Curtis. I met you at McDonald's. Okay, you asked me to call you at 3, and then call them. Okay, so you may have to do something a little bit different than normal, and just don't keep calling because they're getting 12, 25 to 30 phone calls a day from these computers. So those are the changes that are taking place. We still can use the phone to build a business, but we have to understand the environment we're in. Also, same thing with the videos. I send a video out to folks. I can't get them to answer the phone. I send a video out to them. Sometimes they answer it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I put on there, I got more response when I said, here's the 1-minute video that I promised you. Okay, we met at Ruby Tuesday. Here's the 1-minute video that I promised you. And then they'll look at it. Now you got to put in there 1 minute because people, I don't know what's going on anymore. People want to be wealthy. They watch TV and they see all the things that people are doing to make, but they don't understand wealth is a 10-year project. Wealth is a 10-year project. It's not a, and that's steady work, steady work. Not 10 years and you do something this week, or maybe something this month, or maybe something this year. You're on it. Now, let's talk about that for a minute, because when you say wealthy, a lot of people, they kind of frown their nose at it because they think because you're rich or because you're wealthy, that you got to be a bad person. You have to be a really bad person to be wealthy. But we know that is not true. In fact, if you are wealthy, you can do some really big things. So one of the things that could hold you back, and Mr. Thomas teaches about this, and others, you heard others teach about it. I know Brian and others have taught about this. It's something called self-sabotage. We will do stuff. We don't need nobody to slow us down. We don't need anybody to hurt us. We don't need our cousin, our brother, sister, uncle, aunt to give us a hard time about something. Sometimes our worst enemy is who? Us. We can be our own worst enemy. Because today we would be on a call with Mr. Thomas. We would tell him we we're going to get 3 names and numbers. We get them, but we did it 2 days, 1 day, 3 days. We didn't do it every day. So the getting 10 names and numbers a day, however you get those, and calling those people every day is what we call work. Okay, that's what we call work. Because after a while, Miss April Halls, she's probably talked to everybody she can talk to. She talked to all the Halls. She talked to everybody on her side of the family, everybody on her husband's side of the family. And in her mind, she talked to everybody else. Okay. So she did that the first month or 2 in the business. And now she's still got more people to talk to. But now she has to do something called go out and get some new names and numbers. Because I promise you, besides the 300 people that she knows, there are more than 300 people on the planet. So there's more people she don't know than that she knows. Okay. But we tend to talk to the people that we what? Know. And that's the way it works at first. But in order to build a big organization, you're going to have to go and talk to people you don't know and basically pique them, get their names and numbers, and figure out a way to get back in touch with them, schedule an appointment for a PBZ like Mr. Baker has today. And then that's the easiest. Say, we'll have a short PBZ at 6 o'clock. Is that good for you? Yes. No. The one I have tomorrow is, I could not get this guy no other way. I had to set it up on a PBZ. He's busy. He's a truck driver. He's in there on the road. But now, because of technology, he can be on the road and he can listen to what I have to say while he's driving. He doesn't have to be home. Because of technology, he could be in the car on the way home from work at a traffic light and hit the button, and we could converse. My job then is to pique his interest, to see if he's interested enough in building a business. Okay, now, two things can happen. Mr. Cooper's taught us this. Two things can happen, really three things can happen. He is not interested, not in what I have. He's not interested in nothing today. If I came to him with AI today, if I had a bookcase full of $100 bills, $10,000 I was going to give him, if he answered the phone call, he probably still wouldn't answer the phone call. So don't take that on as a personal thing. If he had a good job and he got a raise today and they gave him, you know, a trophy today or a plaque today or something today, or clap their hands because he made more or whatever than anybody else, he's probably not going to be interested in what we got to show him because he's really comfortable with his job. Conversely, if his boss at work gave him a hard time and told me, if you come here late one more day, I mean, I heard a boss tell a man one time, he said, if you wake up in the morning and you're late, just going back to sleep. Just going back to sleep, okay? Don't worry about rushing and jumping in the car and trying to get here. Just going back to get you a good night's sleep because you don't need to come back no more. So if he had one of those days and he woke up late this morning, he may call you, okay? Because our job is to fill a need. And that's why Mr. Thomas talks about having effective business presentations. When he talks effective business presentation, that means you're filling a need. Just the information by itself may not be enough to get Mr. Williams, Gregory Williams, going. It may not be enough. Just the information enough. It may not be enough to get Mr. Natasha Ismail to go to the next step. But if you can identify, if you're really good at identifying a need, then they will take a look at, well, let me take a look at this. Okay, yes, I'm trying to do that. Yeah. And it could be, a need could be, I want to retire. I do not want to work till I'm 62 or 66 or 70 years old. A need could be, I need another way to pay this house off. All I'm doing is paying interest. I wish I could pay a principal payment every month. Another need is I need a car. I need a car. I'm tired of whatever. I'm tired of water pumps going out. I'm tired of transmissions. I'm tired of sitting on the side of the road. That may be a need. But if we can identify the need and we can fill the need, the business can fill the need. We have people in this business, like this month. Let's talk about this month, for instance. They extended the promotion they had last month, or the first 7 days of this month. First 7 days of this month, if you get a Vivint customer, you will get $200 for a Vivint customer, right? And the customer will get $100, right? And you get 8 or 10 points. I can't remember how many points it is, 8 or 10 points. Now, so you may, if you call someone who, now I'm gonna tell you, most people need a security service or they need to upgrade, okay? So, I mean, the world we live in today, especially if crime goes crazy that we think it's gonna happen, then what's gonna happen? There, people aren't, you don't sleep good without a security service, okay? You just can't. So what happens is, you get 2 security services this week, you made $400, okay? What about a new person? They sign into the business, they got their own security service. I want to take Mr. Danny Payne. He signed into the service, to the business, he got a business, $324. He got his own security service, right? $200 came to him because he's the what? He's the rep. And $100 came to him because he's the what? Customer. So what did it cost him? $24 to get started. Zero to get started. This is a crazy time. They can get in the business, become their own security service, and get $300. The other services that you get, say you get four more services, is $200 each. Now they're out there, but you didn't call the people. You didn't call your brother, your sister, your uncle. Remember, you call people you know now. For the customers, your cousin, and then all you're going to ask them is one simple thing. Just pick up one service, get good at 1 or 2. We got a lot of them. You can't get good at all this. So pick 1 or 2, and then what you're going to do is say, I want to get you a quote on a security service for your house. I love mine. It's helped me on a number of occasions. In fact, I almost burned the house down last week, and the alarm went off. So is it okay if I get you a quote? So you're not trying to sell them, you want to get them a quote. Now, when the Vivint person gets on the line, the Vivint person is going to understand that they have upstairs or downstairs, or they got a big backyard and they need a camera here, and a camera there, or they got a mother or father in the house that has need some help with this or that or other thing. So you don't even have to get into the sales part. Let the Vivint person do that. So let's say you call 20 people and you signed up 5 customers. right? 20 people, you sign up 5 customers. That normally is $1,000. When you make 20 phone calls, you made $1,000, okay? And then you'll make a little bit more than that because some of those people are gonna have referrals. My sister got broke in last week. You mind calling them? Well, if you know, she'll get you with a sister. And as your referrals come in, $200 a piece. Now, if you could show me, so you made $1,000, $1,500 your first couple of weeks. If you could show me how to do that, I came in on the business side. I got my security service. It cost me nothing to get into the business, right? And I did the same thing. I got 5 or 6 or 7 customers. Well, you earned another what? $1,200. You earned $400 because you became an ETL, and because you became an ETL plus, you got another $800. Now, when I signed up into the business with Mr. Thomas, we didn't have that kind of money out there. That kind of right now money where you can make $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 your first month. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You just could not do that. But now it's there, and it's all about customers. Now, if you had lots of people doing that inside of your group, if they all were doing that, just imagine how many points how long would it take you to get to RD if you have 5 or 6 or 8 reps doing the same thing, getting 8 points, 8 points. Some people get 10 customers, they got 80 points. That's a long way to RD. 80 points is a long way to RD. So the company's about to go through something because we always grow. We always grow. When I say grow, the bonus side, the 150s, the 250s, the 350s, that explodes when the economy is bad, when people don't have options, they don't know what to do, they're getting laid off, things are going wrong. That's out of business. And then you build it, and at some point, the economy is going to get really great. People are not interested no more. And then guess what we got? We got residual income. We got our residual income from those really, really strong years, creates residual income. 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 a month, residually from that work that you did back in the day when you were building a customer base. So this is the world we live in, and I know it's going to get better than all of us can imagine, because we're not going to have so many cycles. The big cycle I want you all to imagine right now, and I'm going to say this, I'm trying to say it nicely, is going to be what? AI. We just, technology took the place of the farmers in the past. It was called a tractor, a combine, okay? People went into the factories. The factories are losing their jobs. People in the factories are losing their jobs because of what? Robots, machines doing work. I went through the BMW plant. We got the largest BMW plant is about 60 miles from me in the world, or maybe 80 miles away from me in the world. Make all the X1s, X3s, X5s, X7s. You walk through that plant, you can't find nobody. There's nobody in there. Okay, machines, a big old press room that used to have 500, 600 people in the press room, now manned with 30 or 40 people. Okay, computers, paint rooms that painted parts, computers. Okay, these are machines that are doing work. They don't talk back. They work 24 hours a day. They work 7 days a week. Okay, so that is the environment that's coming right now. And just like the farmers, we didn't need the farmers that we thought we needed, because the tractors took their place. Now we don't need the quantity of people in a factory that we used to need because of these computers. Now, that's the information age. This is something else. This AI thing, this is something else. It's going to replace people that sit behind a desk and type. It's going to take the place of everybody else that's not working in a factory, okay? You pull up to McDonald's right now, they'll ask you if you use your app. You notice that? They say, did you order with the app? You said, yeah, well, come on around, your food's ready. If you didn't order with the app, guess what? You know, that's the world we're moving into. And so these people are going to be displaced from these jobs, and you have the answer. So this won't be one of those little quick 2 or 3 year bumps we get. This is going to be probably 10, 15 years jump. Most of us on this call will be millionaires because of what? Because we were here, we were trained, and when the thing took off, we were ready to go. All right. So that's all I have to show you today. We peak people, and after a while, people are going to look for you. They're going to be looking for you because you know how to make that thing work. Sam Foster, you know how to make that work. Call Sam. He knows how. He signed me up. Call Sam. That's what your reputation is going to be around the town that you live in, around the market that you work in. Now, the important thing for you to do is understand. I had a video for you today, but I'm not going to show it. It was Mr. Adlam. The big thing is to get these people to events. Okay, you can do but so much. They need to come to an event and hear Mr. Thomas speak. They need to come to an event and hear Miss Jackie speak. They need to meet Miss Natasha. They need to meet Mr. Pierre Richard. They need to come to these meetings. And so get them to events and it'll do more for them than you could do for them. Okay. So get them to events. And that's what we're going to talk about next week, the art of getting them to events. So that takes care of what we were talking about today. Just imagine you're living in some special times. And if you can get those names and numbers and figure out how to pique people and try and meet their interests, they're ready to go. They just don't know what this is. They never seen it. They have no idea. Never heard of ACN before. I would venture to go, if you went to Walmart right now and just walk down an aisle and say, have you ever heard of ACN? What are you talking about? Have you ever heard of ACN? What is that? No. Everybody would tell you no. You wouldn't run into anybody that heard of it before. That's the market you're in right now. That's the market we're in. So with that said, I'll turn the floor back over to Mr. Thomas, and we'll see you next week. I enjoyed talking to you.